And I think it's important to remember, we talk about content is king. We hear that a lot. And I think if content is king, then context is the kingdom. And even when you forget someone's name, which, you know, I know we've talked about in the past, and how important a skill it is to show someone you care by remembering them, one of the questions you ask yourself is, where do I know this person from? Because with the where creates the context, and then often the memory is there also as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. Now, I want to talk a bit more about that because, you know, as our devices get smarter and they become more of who we are, that whole thing of why do we need memory is something I'd really like to revisit today, because, you know, 5 years, 10 years from now, we'll still have, you know, we'll be partial cyborgs maybe at that point to speak to Elon Musk, but yet the memory is still really important.
Yes.
And I'd love to talk about that a little bit.
I've done, and I'm looking forward to going deep in that. I do trainings for Google, and it's, you know, they're organizing the world's information. And my mission really is helping people to remember the important parts of it, because memory is a force multiplier. It's one of those things. I challenge anyone to think of anything that they do or want to accomplish that doesn't require memory. Anything, whether it's kinesthetic body memory or remembering, like if we lost, look at the other end, if we forgot half of what we know or knew, half the words, half the people, half of our expertise, we wouldn't be very functional.
Yeah.
And so imagine if we could double our capacity to learn in a fraction of the time, then we become extremely productive and powerful. And I'm not talking about frantic fast. When I teach people how to read 2 or 3 times faster, I mean in efficiency and effectiveness. You know, you can imagine when you were, great documentary, by the way, I remind, when you're training for something, your body, if you had some kind of physical challenge, or let's say we're walking up a hill, you could do it at a level of efficiency and effectiveness than somebody who wasn't in as physically in shape, because you're strong and you don't have to use as much energy. The same thing when I read, whether it's reading a book a day, or people see me on stage, 100 people stand up and introduce themselves, and I recite everyone's name or large numbers
and
or
remember
words.
Numbers, they say.
Everyone could do that, and it's not something. There's no such thing as a good or bad memory. There's a trained memory and an untrained memory, and this works whether, no matter your age, your background, your career, your education, your financial situation, your gender, your history, your IQ. None of that matters. What matters is, just like with anything, is focus and putting in the work. And so it might not always be easy, but it's so worth it. It's like describing to somebody what a rainbow looks like that has never seen a rainbow, or describing what a rose smells like who's never smelled a rose. And that's, I believe people, my mission is, I believe people have genius inside of them. And I'm not talking about an IQ or number. I mean, they have strengths and talents. And I want to be able to create an environment where they could let it out, because the world needs more of that.